It's one of those things, if you could go back in time and do it all over again, I wish I would have gone to a chiropractor on all my previous crashes, if for nothing else, just to get thoroughly examined. My name is Garth Tuck, and I've been in 4 car accidents. None of them were my fault. The last one is where I was stopped at a light waiting to turn left, and a car came from that left side to make a right turn and was going too fast, slammed on his brakes and hit the front of my car. My 10-year-old daughter was in the car with me. Immediately after the crash, there weren't any major symptoms. I had a little bit of tightness, but I was walking around the car and talking to the officer and that kind of thing. Makira, my daughter, seemed to be okay, so there weren't really any immediate symptoms in that particular accident. Later that night, I'd started to get a headache. By Monday, I was pretty stiff and sore. Right after, she kept saying she was okay and she was fine, but I noticed that she started getting some headaches, and her movement was limited when she would try to pick something up, and you would ask her and she would say she was fine, but I could see that there were some symptoms. The Monday after the crash, I went to the Now Care clinic by our house. He didn't touch me, he didn't look at me, he just asked me what happened. Told me that I would be sore and that I should go home and take something for the pain. I felt like it was pretty much a waste of my time. 6 years ago, I think it was, I was rear-ended. And that was actually the worst accident I've been in. I was stopped at a light. He hit me with enough force that he pushed me forward enough that I rear-ended the car in front of me, so I kind of got sandwiched between those 2 cars. So I went to physical therapy for about 3 months. Felt like I had some improvement, but never felt like I was 100%. Yeah, the physical therapist didn't really tell me what was going to happen long term. So when I first went to the Rocky Mountain Clinic, I was having a lot of discomfort. I had my hands were going numb several times during the day. I was getting severe headaches. My left shoulder and back were in almost constant pain. My lower back was uncomfortable. I wasn't sleeping well. I was getting maybe an hour or 2 of sleep at night and tossing and turning the rest of the time, or getting up and walking around the house. Or I felt like there were some serious issues pretty soon after the crash. In Makira's case, to be honest, it was hard. It was a little hard to tell in her case. I think the first time I realized how serious it was is when we saw the X-ray, and you could really see that things were out of place. And the medical doctor didn't, he basically asked me what happened, and without putting his hands on me or really even looking at me, came up with a solution. At the Rocky Mountain Clinic, looked at my back, took an X-ray, examined every portion of my spine, from the base all the way up into my neck, touched, I don't know, countless different places to see which place hurt and what place didn't. And I felt like it was extremely thorough. I felt like, we had together found out, okay, it's hurting here and here and here, and we took the picture and we could look at the X-ray, and then come up with a course of action. And that course of action's worked. I've been feeling a lot better. I've got most of my movement back. I'm not getting terrible headaches as much anymore. Yeah, I think it's possible that if I'd gone to a chiropractor after my previous accidents, that this particular accident may not have been as bad. If my best friend got in a car accident, the first thing I'd tell him is to go get checked out by a chiropractor. I'd also tell him to not be afraid to call a lawyer and get a lawyer's help, because it gets pretty complicated. The insurance company seems to be trying to get you to quickly sign something or take a check, and sometimes that, unless you know different, you may, I thought from earlier accidents, I thought, oh, that's just the way this works, but I would let them know they have some options, not necessarily doing what the insurance companies are trying to tell them or get them to do. Nobody tells you what you're supposed to do when you get in an accident, other than you get the other guy's insurance information. Nobody tells you to take a picture of the car, or that when the insurance company guy comes, he's going to try to push a check on you for $500 when it really is going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars to get all this made right. I'm not one that really likes to go to the doctor per se, but chiropractic treatment, I could really feel a difference. After each treatment, I felt better. I felt my muscles were more relaxed. I could turn my head farther to the left and to the right than I normally could. And in fact, the first place I noticed that is after the chiropractic treatment, When I'd go get in my car and I'd go to back my car out, I could look over my shoulder and see back far enough without having to turn my whole body, you know. And I thought, wow, that's, you know, there's a difference. And then, you know, each time, by the time I went to my next chiropractic treatment, I'd be in pain and hurting again, but it would help me feel a little bit better. And each time after that, it's felt like the time, you know, feeling better has gotten longer and longer. The chiropractic treatment in my case has helped. I don't even feel that. I can get up and down out of a chair without even thinking about it. In fact, it's been years since I've been able to stand up out of a chair after sitting there for 20, 30 minutes and not have it be kind of painful. It's been helpful on lots of levels. It's nice to be able to feel good.